What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we got another 2024 ZX6R. This one is a little different. I really like this color combo. This is my first time seeing this white and silver. Looks super sexy. Now it's got very simple modifications and only one modification so far. Besides the mirrors, we're not going to count those. But it's got an M4 GP19 cat delete slip on. So all he's done is bolt a muffler on here to get some more power. Now we're gonna flash the ECU, get rid of all those pesky restrictions, and make some real power out of this thing. We're gonna do a baseline pull, then I'm gonna show you how much power gain can be had just by flashing the ECU. Oh, and let me tell you, it's a lot. Stay with us guys, here we go. Let's fire this ZX6R up. Before we do that, check out this key tag. Ride fast, eat ass. Ooh, wait, this is a dirty boy. All right, let's see what kind of power this thing puts down. So we just saw the baseline number. We ended up with 111 horsepower and 46 foot-pounds of torque. Now look at this dyno chart. Looks about terrible. Let's talk about why. You can see our horsepower goes up and then straight up nosedives on us. So we go to Woolwich Racing program here, and then we're gonna go and open up a new file for this ZX6R, a stock configuration. We go to other maps, secondary throttle plates. We're gonna put the bike in high power because of course we weren't running in low power. Then we're gonna put the bike in 5th gear, which is where we dynoed it at. Now this right here is our throttle position sensor. This is how much throttle our hand is giving it. This is how many RPMs the bike is giving it, or the RPMs is, you know what I'm talking about. This is how many RPMs the bike is going, and then this is the numbers that the bike is actually getting in the ECU. So whenever you go 100% throttle over here, you can see the bike waits until 8,000 RPMs before it goes 100%. And then at 12,000 RPMs, it cuts back to 68%. At 14,000 RPMs, it cuts back to 36% throttle. So even though you're pinned, the computer said no, 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 and took your power away. So let's go to 1st gear. Look at this. This is crazy. So wide open throttle here, 14,000 RPMs, 14% throttle, kills it. So we're gonna get rid of all those restrictions, make that whenever you go 100%, it goes 100%. And then we're gonna go in here to our rev limiters. We're gonna bump our rev limiter up a good bit. So this is gonna give us a much higher top speed as well. Not only are we gonna be getting rid of the top speed limiter, but we're actually gonna be able to rev the bike farther, and it's gonna continue to pull. So we'll disable the top speed limiter, we'll disable the exhaust servo code, then we would disable the decel fuel cut. So whenever you let off the throttle now, the bike nosedives, throws you forward. Terrible engine braking. That's because the fuel cuts completely off to the bike as soon as you let off the throttle. Once we get done tuning it and flashing the ECU, you give it a gas, you let off, the fuel injectors keep spraying at a very minimum amount, keeping the transition from on throttle to off throttle very smooth. We can also disable the codes for the evap system, pair valve, whatever else. On this particular motorcycle, the factory O2 sensor does remain in check. So we got the ECU out, we're flashing it now. The ECU on this bike is located back here. Basically, these are the plug-ins for it. It sits like right here. So you'll want to remove the ECU, send it in to us immediately, because the brand new bike that you bought that you thought was super cool ain't that cool just yet, guys. All right, we're about to show you some real world results after we flash the ECU. Then we're also gonna compare the dyno charts of this M4 slip-on with stock air filter and everything against another 24 ZX6R that was fully modified. Here we go, guys. The ECU has been flashed. All the restrictions are gone. This thing sounds and runs a million times better. Let's see what kind of gains we got. About the sound of this M4 slip-on. This is a very inexpensive exhaust option. I like the way it sounds. Sounds pretty good, but if you go and watch my other video on the 2024 ZX6R, it had an M4 full system. Definitely a big difference in the sound, guys. Definitely a big difference in the performance too. We're going to show you those differences here in just a second on our other dyno graph. Not bad, right? I mean, it sounds pretty good. ZX6R finished up. Now take a look at the gains we got. We went from 111.21 to 115.88, and from 46 to 48 foot-pounds of torque. Now I know you're thinking 4 horsepower, that's not that big a difference. Oh, but wait, there is. Take a look at this, guys, where this thing starts really falling off and reducing power at 14,000 RPM. Let's just back it up to exactly 14,000. At exactly 14,000, we went from 88 horsepower to 113 horsepower. Now this particular bike, the power still declines pretty good after 14,000 RPMs. That's because of the factory velocity stacks in it. The factory velocity stacks are pretty tall. We can go to some shorter velocity stacks. Let's go over here to another. We're going to delete line 1, which is our factory, and then we are going to compare it to our other 24 ZX6R that we dynoed with a full exhaust system and a set of velocity stacks. Take a look at the differences here. They're big. So at 14,000 RPMs, where this other one is falling off, the one with the velocity stacks just keeps on climbing, guys, from 110 to 122. That's huge. Let me tell you, 12 horsepower at 14,000 RPMs is like a rocket booster. So anyways, I think velocity stacks are gonna be a must-have for these bikes. If you got one of these, you wanna pick up a set of velocity stacks. Also too, this right here, this is about 9,000 RPMs from 76 to 81. That's the difference of the full exhaust and the catalytic converter, or the stock header catalytic converter versus the full exhaust with no cat. Big differences in the mid-range as well. Overall, I think it's worth it to spend the extra money, get the full exhaust system, some velocity stacks, and an air filter, and we'll hook you up with the rest. Hit us up, moremafia.com. Get your ECU flashed. It's easy to get out on these bikes. Just pop the back seat off, send us the ECU. We flash it and mail it right back out to you. We send them back out within 2 days of arrival. We will get you hooked up. Hit us up, moremafia.com. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on this. The 24 tunes are finally available, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We appreciate you joining us. Click the bell for notifications so you get notified every time we upload. Also, smash that like button. That helps us out a lot. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.